What if everything we think we know about ancient history is just the surface of a far deeper mystery? Across the globe, towering monuments and crumbling ruins stand as silent witnesses to civilizations long gone. But what if these structures are hiding secrets that could rewrite the stories we've been told? From the echoing chambers of Egypt's Great Pyramid to the overgrown temples of the Amazon, the past whispers tantalizing clues waiting for the curious to listen. These aren't just relics of a bygone era, they're puzzles carved in stone daring us to look closer. Picture standing at the foot of a massive ancient structure, its stones worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain. On the surface, it's a monument, a tomb, a temple, a fortress, but dig deeper and the cracks begin to show. Hidden passages, unexplained symbols, and artifacts that defy logic lurk beneath the veneer of textbook history. Some of these secrets were buried intentionally, meant to be lost to time. Others were simply overlooked, dismissed as myths or mistakes. Yet here they are, waiting to shake the foundations of what we thought we understood. That's the journey we're embarking on today, a voyage into the shadows of 30 ancient monuments that might hide far more than meets the eye. Some secrets are written in plain sight, hidden only by our assumptions. Others require a keen eye, a willingness to question, and the courage to entertain the impossible. Whether it's a lost city beneath the waves, a monument aligned with stars we've forgotten, or a doorway that leads well, we don't quite know where yet. Each of these sites holds a piece of the puzzle. So come with us as we unravel the enigmas, challenge the narratives, and dare to ask, what if the past isn't as settled as we've been led to believe? The answers might just change everything. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as one of humanity's most iconic monuments, a colossal testament to ancient ingenuity, yet for all its fame, it still guards secrets that defy explanation. Beneath its weathered limestone facade lies a labyrinth of mysteries, some only recently uncovered thanks to cutting-edge technology. Modern scans have revealed hidden chambers and puzzling voids deep within the pyramid structure, spaces that don't appear on any ancient blueprint. One of the most tantalizing discoveries is the so-called Big Void, a mysterious cavity above the Grand Gallery stretching nearly 100 feet long. What purpose did it serve? Was it a hidden burial chamber, a storage space for sacred relics, or something even more unexpected? Then there's the question of the pyramid's air shafts, narrow passageways that branch off from the king's and queen's chambers. Initially dismissed as mere ventilation, their precise alignment with celestial bodies suggests they might hold a deeper, possibly ceremonial significance. Some researchers speculate they could point the way to undiscovered rooms, perhaps even holding artifacts meant to accompany the pharaoh into the afterlife. And let's not forget the underground tunnels beneath the pyramid's base, some sealed off for millennia. Explorations have hinted at submerged chambers, raising the spine-tingling possibility of hidden treasures or knowledge deliberately placed beyond reach. Theories about these enigmatic spaces range from the scholarly to the sensational. Could they contain lost records of advanced ancient technology, as some fringe historians suggest? Might they be linked to the pyramid's rumored role as an energy conduit or even a cosmic time capsule? While mainstream archaeology remains cautious, the sheer scale of the unknowns keeps the debate alive. After all, if a structure as meticulously studied as the Great Pyramid can still surprise us with hidden voids, what else might lie concealed in plain sight? Every new scan, every robotic probe sent into its depths brings us closer to answers and perhaps to rewriting history itself. So as we stand before this ancient marvel, we're left wondering, are we finally on the verge of unlocking its secrets, or is the pyramid always destined to keep one last mystery to itself? Stonehenge has loomed over England's Salisbury Plain for millennia, its towering stones arranged with eerie precision, yet despite centuries of study, this ancient enigma refuses to surrender its secrets. Conventional wisdom long labeled it a primitive astronomical calendar, its pillars aligned with solstices and equinoxes. But what if its true purpose was far more complex? Recent excavations have unearthed human remains dating back over 5,000 years, suggesting Stonehenge may have been a sacred burial ground long before the iconic stone circle took shape. Yet even this explanation feels incomplete when you consider the eerie acoustic properties hidden within its design. Researchers have discovered that the blue stones, the smaller, inner rocks transported over 150 miles from Wales, produce strange metallic echoes when struck. Some theorists argue this wasn't accidental. The entire structure might have functioned as a giant resonating chamber, amplifying rituals or even altering consciousness through sound. Imagine standing inside the circle as chants or drumbeats reverberated off the stones, creating vibrations felt deep in the bones. Could this explain why ancient people dragged these specific rocks across such impossible distances? Then there's the puzzle of the so-called Superhenge, uncovered just 2 miles away. Ground-penetrating radar revealed a vast, buried ring of massive stones, 90 in total, each towering up to 15 feet high. This colossal structure, now dubbed Durrington Walls, hints at a ceremonial landscape far grander than we ever imagined. Were these sites linked? Did one serve the living while the other communed with the dead? Even more baffling are the carvings of axes and daggers found on some stones, symbols that mirror artifacts from ancient Crete, a connection spanning thousands of miles and cultures with no known contact. Mainstream archaeology clings to the burial and ritual theory, but fringe researchers propose wilder ideas: energy ley lines, prehistoric healing centers, even landing markers for otherworldly visitors. The truth may lie somewhere in between. What's undeniable is that every new discovery at Stonehenge peels back another layer of mystery, forcing us to rethink not just this monument, but the capabilities of the people who built it. As the sun sets between those weathered pillars, casting long shadows across the grass, one thing is clear: Stonehenge isn't just a relic, it's a riddle waiting for the right question to unlock its truth. Easter Island's stone giants, the Moai, stand as silent sentinels of a lost civilization, their hollow eyes gazing across the Pacific as if guarding secrets buried beneath the soil. These towering figures, some weighing over 80 tons, have long baffled researchers not just for their sheer size, but for the eerie discovery that many of them aren't just heads at all. Excavations have revealed that most Moai have full bodies hidden underground, some carved with intricate petroglyphs hinting at forgotten stories. But how did a society without wheels or metal tools move these colossal statues across miles of rugged terrain? Theories about their transportation range from the practical to the fantastical. One experiment demonstrated they could be walked upright using ropes and a rocking motion, mimicking local oral traditions that claim the statues moved themselves. Others argue log rollers or sledges were used, though the island's deforestation raises another enigma. Did the Rapa Nui people cut down every last tree to move their Moai, only to doom their own society? The truth might be more complex. Recent soil analysis suggests the island's ecosystem was already fragile, with droughts and rat infestations compounding human impact. But what if the Moai weren't just victims of this collapse? What if they were part of its cause? Some statues were found toppled, their faces deliberately smashed, as if in ritualistic defiance. Were they symbols of a broken power structure, or did their creation demand so much labor that society buckled under the weight of its own ambition? Even stranger are the Moai's red stone hats or pukao, each weighing up to 12 tons. How were they lifted onto the statues' heads without cranes or scaffolding? The answer might lie in ramps made of compacted earth, now eroded by time. Then there's the mystery of the island's script, Rongorongo, one of the few undeciphered writing systems left on Earth. Carved into wooden tablets, its glyphs resemble human figures, plants, and celestial symbols. Could these hold the key to understanding the Moai's true purpose? Some researchers believe the statues were conduits for ancestral communication, their backs facing the sea to protect the living from unseen threats. Others speculate they marked sources of fresh water or served as territorial markers in a land where resources grew scarcer by the year. The Moai's secrets stretch beyond archaeology. Local legends speak of a supernatural force called mana, a spiritual energy the statues supposedly channeled. Could this explain why their construction continued even as famine loomed? In the shadow of these giants, we're left with more questions than answers. Were the Moai monuments to a civilization's greatness or warnings of its hubris? As wind and rain slowly reclaim their features, one thing is certain: Easter Island's silent watchers still have stories to tell. High in the Andes, shrouded in mist and mystery, Machu Picchu's stone walls cling to the mountainside like a secret too precious to share. This lost city of the Incas wasn't just a fortress or a temple, it was a masterpiece of engineering, built with such precision that not even a blade of grass could slip between its stones. Yet beneath its terraces and temples, rumors swirl of a hidden network of tunnels, some said to lead to untouched chambers or even connect to other sacred sites deep in the jungle. Could these passages hold the key to understanding why Machu Picchu was constructed with such impossible perfection, and why the Spanish conquistadors who ravaged so much of the Inca Empire never laid eyes on it? The tunnels, if they exist, might explain how the citadel remained hidden for centuries. Some researchers point to local legends describing a labyrinth beneath the site, possibly used for ceremonial purposes or as escape routes during invasions. Ground-penetrating radar has detected anomalies beneath the Temple of the Sun, hinting at hollow spaces or collapsed passageways. Were these storage rooms for sacred objects, or did they serve a darker purpose? The Inca were known to mummify their elite, and some theorists suggest these tunnels could house undisturbed royal tombs, their treasures still waiting to be found. Then there's the puzzle of Machu Picchu's alignment. Every structure seems to mirror celestial events. The Temple of the Three Windows frames the sunrise during solstices, while the Intihuatana stone acts as a precise astronomical clock, casting no shadow at midday during the equinoxes. This wasn't just a retreat for Inca royalty. It might have been a living observatory, a place where priests communed with the cosmos. The Spanish, focused on gold and conquest, likely overlooked it precisely because it wasn't a political capital but a spiritual sanctuary, tucked away in clouds as if the mountains themselves were guarding it. But why build something so grand in such a remote location? One theory suggests Machu Picchu was a royal estate for Emperor Pachacuti, a private haven where he could escape the demands of empire. Others argue its isolation made it the perfect initiation site for shamans, its high-altitude air thinning the veil between worlds. The truth might lie in the stones themselves, each one perfectly fitted without mortar, earthquake-resistant, and aligned with celestial patterns we're only now deciphering. Whether it was a palace, a temple, or something beyond our modern categories, Machu Picchu's greatest secret might be the way it harmonizes human ambition with the raw power of nature. As the mist curls around its peaks, one can't help but wonder, did the Inca hide this place not just from invaders but from time itself? The Great Sphinx of Giza crouches in the desert like a riddle carved from the bedrock itself, its weathered face gazing eastward as if guarding answers we've yet to ask. While mainstream archaeology pins its construction to Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE, a growing chorus of researchers argues this iconic monument might be far older, possibly predating dynastic Egypt altogether. The clues lie in its body, not its face. The Sphinx's limestone flanks bear deep vertical erosion grooves, patterns consistent with prolonged exposure to rainwater. But here's the catch: the Giza Plateau hasn't seen enough rainfall to cause such damage since at least 5000 BCE. Could the Sphinx have stood there, silently watching while the Sahara was still a lush savanna? This erosion mystery fuels one of the Sphinx's most tantalizing legends, the Hall of Records. Ancient texts and oral traditions speak of a hidden chamber beneath its paws, said to contain scrolls or artifacts from a lost civilization, perhaps even Atlantis. Ground-penetrating scans have revealed anomalies beneath the Sphinx, including rectangular cavities and possible tunnels. One such passage, explored in the 1990s, led to a water-filled chamber too dangerous to fully excavate. Could these be natural formations or deliberate spaces meant to preserve knowledge from a cataclysm? Edgar Cayce, the famed psychic, famously predicted the hall's discovery by the late 20th century, though mainstream Egyptologists dismiss the idea as pure fantasy. Yet the question lingers, why would a structure as meticulously placed as the Sphinx, aligned with celestial events and geometrically tied to the pyramids, not have hidden depths? Then there's the enigma of its face. The current visage, though damaged, resembles Khafre's likeness, but some researchers argue it was recarved. French archaeologist Vasil Dobrev proposed the original head might have been a lion, its proportions more harmonious with the massive body. This would align with the Sphinx's name in ancient Egypt, Hor-Emakhet, or Horus of the Horizon, a celestial lion guarding the dawn. Others suggest it once bore the features of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the underworld, later reshaped to suit new rulers. Satellite imagery even hints at possible doorways near the Sphinx's haunches, though excavations have yet to confirm their purpose. That's the heart of the mystery. Was the Sphinx a royal portrait, a celestial timekeeper, or a guardian of something buried far below? Its alignment with the constellation Leo during the vernal equinox around 10,500 BC fuels speculation it might be a prehistoric monument repurposed by later cultures. The Arabic name for the Sphinx, Abu al-Hol, translates to Father of Terror, a title hinting at knowledge lost to time. Whether it's a library in stone, a map of the stars, or a warning from a forgotten age, one thing is clear: the Sphinx refuses to surrender its secrets easily. As the desert winds whisper across its paws, we're left to wonder if the truth lies not in the sand but beneath it. Carved into the rose-red cliffs of Jordan, Petra's Al-Qasne, the treasury gleams like a mirage in the desert sun. Its ornate facade, towering nearly 130 feet high, has mesmerized travelers for centuries, but the real mystery lies behind those intricately carved columns. Recent ground-penetrating scans revealed something astonishing: hidden chambers and passageways tucked deep within the rock, spaces never mentioned in ancient texts or early excavations. What were they for? The treasury's conventional label as a royal tomb feels suddenly inadequate when faced with these shadowy voids. Could this monument, immortalized in Indiana Jones lore, have been something far more enigmatic? The first clue lies in its name. Al-Qasne translates to the treasury, a title bestowed by local Bedouin tribes who believed an Egyptian pharaoh hid his riches in the stone urn atop the facade. Yet no treasure was ever found, just empty rooms and corridors that seemed to defy easy explanation. The structure's Nabatean builders left no written records, but the precision of its construction suggests a purpose beyond mere burial. The facade's alignment with the winter solstice sunrise hints at celestial significance, its doorway flooding with light on the shortest day of the year. Was this a temple to the sun god Dashara, a ceremonial gateway, or even an ancient bank storing wealth more precious than gold knowledge? Then there's the enigma of the chambers themselves. Some theories propose they held sacred scrolls or ritual objects, sealed away from profane hands. Others point to the narrow, winding staircases leading downward, suggesting initiation rites or underground water channels critical to Petra's survival in the desert. But the most tantalizing possibility, that Al-Qasne was part of a larger, interconnected complex. In 2014, scans detected a previously unknown structure buried beneath the sand just in front of the treasury, possibly a ceremonial platform or even another facade. Could these hidden spaces form a ritual landscape designed to guide the faithful through stages of revelation? the tomb theory isn't entirely without merit. A nearby chamber contains burial niches, and the Nabateans did carve elaborate tombs into petrous cliffs. Yet Alcosne's grandeur sets it apart. Its intricate carvings of Isis, Tich, and the Dioscuri blend Egyptian, Greek, and Mesopotamian influences, as if the builders were synthesizing the wisdom of the ancient world. Even the urn at the top, pockmarked by Bedouin bullets hoping to release its supposed treasure, might symbolize something deeper, a vessel not for gold, but for the intangible secrets of a civilization that mastered desert, trade routes, and hydraulic engineering while Rome was still a village. As the sun sets, painting the stone in fiery hues, Alcosne's true purpose feels just out of reach. Was it a tomb, a temple, or a cosmic clock? Perhaps it was all three, a place where the living communed with the dead, where celestial cycles dictated sacred rites, and where the very rock whispered stories we're only beginning to decipher. Until those hidden chambers are fully explored, the treasury will keep its secrets locked not behind stone but behind time. Rising from the jungles of Mexico like a stepped mountain of stone, Chichen Itza's El Castillo isn't just a pyramid, it's a symphony of hidden science. Clap your hands at its base and the echo doesn't just rebound, it chirps. The acoustics here produce a sound eerily mimicking the cry of the sacred Quetzal bird, a creature revered by the Maya as a divine messenger. This isn't accidental architecture. Researchers have measured the precise angles and intervals between steps that transform ordinary echoes into avian mimicry, suggesting the Maya engineered this effect deliberately. Was it a ritual tool allowing priests to summon the spirit of the Quetzal during ceremonies, or an ancient sonic fingerprint proving only those who understood the pyramid's secrets could unlock its full power? But the mysteries don't end with sound. Beneath El Castillo's towering facade lies a secret even more profound, a submerged cenote, its dark waters hidden under layers of limestone and centuries of silence. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed its existence in 2015, revealing a cavernous sinkhole mirroring the pyramid above. For the Maya, cenotes were portals to the underworld, places of sacrifice and communion with the gods. The presence of one directly beneath their grandest temple suggests El Castillo wasn't just built near sacred ground. It was deliberately constructed as a bridge between worlds. Divers exploring similar cenotes nearby have found golden artifacts, human remains, and even evidence of ancient rituals involving hallucinogenic plants. What waits in this uncharted chamber? Then there's the pyramid's celestial resume. Each of El Castillo's 4 sides boasts 91 steps, 364 in total, plus the shared platform at the top, marking the days of the solar year. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, shadows slither down the northern staircase, forming the illusion of a serpent slithering from sky to earth, a representation of the feathered god Kukulkan descending. The precision required to achieve this effect speaks to a deep understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and the interplay of light and shadow. But here's the twist. Recent laser scans suggest earlier structures lie buried within the pyramid, each layer encoding different astronomical data. One interior staircase aligns with Venus's 8-year cycle, while another marks lunar phases. It's as if the Maya built a celestial library in stone, updating it across generations. Mainstream archaeology frames El Castillo as a ceremonial center, but fringe theorists propose wilder interpretations. Could the Quetzal Echo have been an ancient security system, its unique resonance deterring trespassers? Might the cenote below hold preserved codices or artifacts untouched by Spanish flames? As the morning sun climbs over the Yucatan, casting serpentine shadows down the pyramid's flanks, one truth becomes clear: El Castillo isn't just a relic of the past. It's a conversation between earth and sky, between sound and silence, between what we've decoded and what still whispers in the dark. Angkor Wat sprawls across the Cambodian jungle like a stone dream, its 5 iconic towers rising toward the heavens, but beneath this sprawling temple complex lies a secret even grander than its visible splendor. Recent LiDAR scans have peeled back the jungle canopy to reveal an astonishing truth. Angkor Wat is just the tip of a vast, hidden metropolis. The scans exposed an intricate network of roads, canals, and undiscovered temples fanning outward beneath the earth, some structures so large they rival the central temple itself. This underground labyrinth suggests Angkor wasn't merely a religious site, but the beating heart of an empire that may have housed over 1 million people at its peak. How could a civilization capable of such urban planning vanish so completely? Celestial alignments offer one clue. Angkor Wat's architects designed it as a microcosm of the universe, its towers mirroring the peaks of Mount Meru, the mythical center of the Hindu cosmos. During the spring equinox, the sun rises directly over the central tower, casting a shadow that aligns with an ancient causeway in a spectacle of sacred geometry. But the precision goes deeper. The temple's outer gallery walls are adorned with bas-reliefs depicting celestial nymphs, their positions corresponding to specific stars in the night sky. Some researchers believe these carvings functioned as an astronomical calendar, tracking solstices and planetary movements with eerie accuracy. Was Angkor Wat not just a temple but a colossal observatory, its builders conversant with cosmic cycles we've only recently rediscovered? Theories about its abandonment are just as compelling. For centuries, historians blamed invading Siamese armies or catastrophic drought, but LiDAR data paints a more complex picture. The scans show evidence of a sophisticated water management system, canals, reservoirs, and moats that once controlled monsoon floods. When this hydraulic network failed, possibly due to overpopulation or deforestation, the entire city may have collapsed under its own weight. Yet some carvings tell a different story. A panel in the Western Gallery depicts a scene eerily reminiscent of a solar eclipse, an event recorded in 1880 AD, centuries after Angkor's supposed decline. Could the temple have remained occupied long after its abandonment, its priests guarding forgotten knowledge in hidden chambers? Local legends speak of underground libraries filled with palm leaf manuscripts, their contents lost to time or deliberately concealed. Ground-penetrating radar has detected anomalies beneath the main temple, rectangular voids that could be sealed rooms or collapsed passageways. One persistent myth describes a golden statue of the Buddha hidden in a subterranean chamber, placed there to protect it from looters. Whether these spaces hold treasure or simply the echoes of a civilization's twilight, their existence challenges our timeline of Angkor's demise. As the sun sets over the temple's lotus-shaped towers, casting long shadows across its hidden map of stars and streams, Angkor Wat whispers a tantalizing question. Did its builders leave because they were forced to, or because they knew something we don't? The jungle may have reclaimed their city, but the stones remember, and somewhere beneath them the truth waits. Deep in southeastern Turkey, where the dusty plains meet the rolling hills, Göbekli Tepe rises from the earth like a whisper from the Stone Age. This sprawling complex of massive T-shaped pillars, intricately carved with foxes, scorpions, and lions, isn't just old, it rewrites history. Dating back 12,000 years, it predates Stonehenge by 6 millennia, the pyramids by 7. But here's what truly baffles archaeologists. This wasn't built by farmers in a settled society. It was crafted by hunter-gatherers, people who supposedly lacked the organization or resources for such a monumental project. So why did they carve these towering stones with such precision? And why, centuries later, did they bury the entire site under thousands of tons of earth, as if hiding it from the future? The pillars themselves are a menagerie of mystery. Each limestone monolith, some weighing over 16 tons, is adorned with bas-reliefs of animals both real and mythical. Vultures stretch their wings, boars charge with bared tusks, and serpents coil around the edges as if guarding something unseen. These aren't random doodles, their placement feels deliberate, almost ritualistic. Some researchers believe the carvings map constellations, marking celestial events critical to prehistoric life. Others argue they tell a story, a warning perhaps about a world in flux. The vultures, for instance, might symbolize death or purification, echoing later Neolithic practices of sky burial, where bodies were left for scavenger birds. But the most haunting theory that these images depict a dying ecosystem. Around the time Göbekli Tepe was abandoned, the region's climate shifted dramatically, turning lush grasslands into arid plains. Were these carvings a plea to the spirits or a monument to a vanishing world? Then there's the burial. Around 8200 BCE, someone meticulously filled in the entire site, layer by layer, using limestone rubble and soil hauled from nearby quarries. This wasn't erosion or neglect, it was intentional entombment. One theory suggests the site was decommissioned as beliefs evolved, buried to prevent its misuse by future generations. Another posits it was a time capsule meant to preserve knowledge for a distant posterity, the most spine-tingling idea that the builders feared what they'd created. The pillars, arranged in concentric circles, seem to mimic portals or gateways. Could the burial have been an attempt to seal away something that had outlived its purpose, or worse, something that had become dangerous? The implications ripple far beyond archaeology. If hunter-gatherers could coordinate such a project, did monumental architecture drive the rise of agriculture, not the other way around? The site's location, rich in wild grains, hints that rituals held here may have spurred early farming. Picture it, thousands gathering for ceremonies, needing to be fed, inadvertently domesticating wheat just to sustain the faithful. This flips the traditional narrative of civilization's birth on its head. Göbekli Tepe wasn't a product of settled society, it might have been the spark that created it. As the sun sets over the ancient pillars, casting long shadows across carvings older than memory, one question lingers. Did the builders bury their masterpiece to protect it from us or to protect us from it? The stones don't speak, but their silence is deafening. 12,000 years later, we're still catching up to their secrets. Stretching across Peru's arid Nazca Desert, a vast canvas of ancient artistry lies etched into the earth, lines so massive they can only be fully appreciated from the heavens. The Nazca lines, a collection of hundreds of geometric shapes and intricate animal figures, some stretching over 1,200 feet long, have puzzled researchers since their rediscovery in the 1920s. Why would a civilization painstakingly carve these sprawling designs into the desert floor, invisible to those standing among them? The answer might lie not in the sky, but beneath the cracked, sun-baked soil. These geoglyphs aren't just random doodles. Many align with underground water sources, suggesting they could have served as a sacred map of hidden aquifers. The Nazca people, thriving in one of the driest places on Earth, likely viewed water as divine. Some figures, like the hummingbird or the spider, mirror constellations visible during seasonal rains, hinting at a celestial calendar designed to predict or even invoke precipitation. The famous astronaut figure with its wide eyes and raised hand might not depict a space traveler at all, but a shaman mid-ritual calling upon spirits to bring life-giving storms. Then there's the how. Without the advantage of flight, how did the Nazca achieve such precision? Recent experiments show they could have used simple tools like ropes and stakes to scale up smaller designs, a testament to their ingenuity. But the real shocker, walking the lines at ground level, reveals something extraordinary. The stones removed to create them were carefully piled along the edges, creating microclimates where moisture condenses overnight. These stone berms may have acted as dew traps, a subtle form of water harvesting woven into the art itself. Not all theories are so practical. Some researchers propose the lines formed pilgrimage routes, with walkers tracing the paths as part of spiritual journeys. Others speculate they were offerings to gods or messages meant for beings above. The truth might be a blend of all three. As drones now uncover lost lines buried by shifting sands, one thing becomes clear: the Nazca weren't just drawing on the land. They were speaking to it, weaving ritual, survival, and celestial wisdom into a language we're still learning to read. Every new discovery peels back another layer, revealing not just an ancient culture's struggles, but its brilliance. These desert etchings, invisible from the ground yet monumental from above, challenge our understanding of communication itself. Were they prayers, maps, or something beyond modern categories? As the wind scours the plateau, whispering across centuries-old grooves, the lines endure not just as art, but as a testament to human resilience in the face of nature's harshest odds. And perhaps that's their greatest secret. They weren't meant for the sky. They were a dialogue with the earth itself. Beneath Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, the third largest pyramid on Earth, lies a discovery so strange it defies easy explanation. When archaeologists tunneled into the pyramid's core, they didn't find burial chambers or treasures. Instead, they uncovered pools of liquid mercury, shimmering like quicksilver in the dim subterranean light. This wasn't some accidental spill. Mercury was deliberately placed there, a metal so rare and toxic in ancient times that its presence raises chilling questions. Why would the Teotihuacanos, a civilization that left no written records, go to such lengths to seal this volatile substance beneath their grandest monument? The mercury might be just the beginning. Nearby, researchers found vast sheets of mica, a mineral that resists heat and electricity sandwiched between layers of stone. Some of these sheets were traced to quarries over 2,000 miles away in Brazil, meaning someone transported this fragile material across continents without modern tools. Mica's properties make it an excellent insulator, fueling speculation that the pyramid's builders were creating something far more sophisticated than a religious symbol. Could these layers have functioned as part of an ancient energy conduit, channeling or amplifying forces we don't yet understand? Local myths offer a haunting clue. Teotihuacan's very name translates to the place where the gods touched the earth, and its layout mirrors the cosmos, with the Pyramid of the Sun aligned to celestial events like the zenith passage of the sun. The mercury pools, often associated with mirrors in Mesoamerican cosmology, might have symbolized portals to the underworld, a metallic river guiding souls to the realm of the dead. But there's a darker interpretation. Mercury vapors are hallucinogenic. Inhaled during rituals, they could have induced visions, allowing priests to communicate with deities or ancestors. The mica sheets, meanwhile, might have served as celestial mirrors, reflecting sunlight into the pyramid's depths during solstices, creating a luminous bridge between worlds. Not everyone agrees. Skeptics argue the mercury was simply part of a royal tomb's decoration, though no remains have been found. Others suggest it was used in alchemical experiments, an attempt to harness the metal's transformative properties. But the sheer scale of these hidden layers hints at something grander. Modern scans reveal tunnels snaking beneath the pyramid, some leading to uncharted chambers. One passage, discovered in 2017, contained hundreds of metallic orbs that still baffle researchers. Were these part of a ritual apparatus or something more technologically advanced? The Pyramid of the Sun doesn't give up its secrets easily. Its mercury rivers and mica shields whisper of a civilization that saw the universe as a living circuit, where earth, sky, and the underworld were interconnected. Whether it was a machine, a temple, or both, one thing is certain: Teotihuacan's builders understood materials and energies in ways we're only beginning to decode. As the midday sun bathes its weathered stones in gold, you can almost hear the echo of a question: were they worshipping gods or building something meant to reach them? Perched atop Athens' Acropolis, the Parthenon gleams as a monument to ancient genius, yet beneath its marble perfection lies a symphony of hidden mathematics. Every seemingly straight line in its structure is actually a subtle curve, an optical refinement called intosses that counters the eye's tendency to sag. The columns tilt inward just slightly, the base bows upward, and the spacing between pillars varies with precision. These aren't aesthetic choices, they're applications of the golden ratio, a mathematical principle found in nature's spirals and galaxies. The Parthenon's architects encoded this ratio approximately 1.618 to 1 into everything from the width to height proportions of the facade to the spacing of its fluted columns. Was this sacred geometry a way to harmonize human creation with cosmic order? Some scholars believe these ratios were meant to evoke the perfection of the gods, while others argue they served a practical purpose, ensuring the temple would appear flawless from every angle amid the hills of Athens. Then there's the ghost at the heart of the Parthenon, the colossal gold and ivory statue of Athena Parthenos, long vanished from her namesake temple. Towering 38 feet tall, she held a 6-foot statue of Nike in one hand and a shield adorned with serpentine coils in the other. Ancient accounts describe her eyes as made of precious stones that gleamed in the torchlight, and her robes inlaid with scenes of mythological battles. But here's the twist: the statue wasn't just decoration, it was a treasury. Athena's removable gold plates weighing over 2,000 pounds could be melted down in times of crisis, a literal fiscal reserve dressed as devotion. Where did she go? Some suspect she was looted by Romans or Byzantines, her gold repurposed for coins. Others whisper she was smuggled away to a hidden location, her jewels still intact beneath some forgotten vault. But the Parthenon's greatest secret might lie underfoot. Ground-penetrating scans have revealed anomalies beneath the temple's floor, rectangular voids that match descriptions of a crypt mentioned in ancient texts. This chamber, possibly accessed through a trapdoor, was said to hold offerings too sacred for public display, oracular tablets, sacred relics, or even the original blueprints for the Acropolis. One persistent legend claims it also housed the Palladium, a mythical wooden statue of Athena believed to protect the city. When Rome converted the Parthenon into a church, these underground spaces may have been sealed to hide pagan treasures from destruction. Modern archaeologists tread carefully. The Greek government restricts invasive digging to preserve the fragile ruins. Until those shadows beneath the marble are fully explored, the Parthenon's hidden chamber remains a tantalizing question mark. What emerges is a monument far more than the sum of its parts. The golden ratio whispers of a civilization that saw math as divine language. The lost Athena speaks to the fragility of even the grandest symbols, and the rumored crypt hints at mysteries still buried. As the sun sets over Athens, casting long shadows across those precisely tilted columns, the Parthenon stands not just as a relic of democracy, but as a cipher, one that challenges us to measure not just its stones, but the minds that shaped them. Beneath the Colosseum's blood-stained sands, a hidden world thrived in shadow. The Hypogeum, a warren of tunnels and chambers where gladiators sharpened their swords and wild beasts paced in cages. This subterranean maze, rediscovered only in the 19th century after centuries of neglect, was the engine behind the arena's spectacles. Trapdoors and pulleys allowed lions, bears, and even elephants to explode onto the stage as if by magic, while hidden ramps ushered fighters into the spotlight. But the Hypogeum's most jaw-dropping secret, its ability to transform the entire arena into a staged ocean. Ancient texts describe the Colosseum hosting mock naval battles called naumatia, where thousands of prisoners reenacted historic sea conflicts. For over a century, historians debated how this was possible until excavations revealed a network of aqueduct-fed pipes and channels beneath the floor. By flooding the Hypogeum, engineers could fill the arena with several feet of water in hours, creating a temporary lake for ships to glide upon. The logistics were staggering. Timber platforms covered the Hypogeum's pits during dry battles, then were swiftly removed when the water rushed in. Slave crews likely operated the system, their labor hidden from the roaring crowd above. But here's the twist. Recent scans show the Hypogeum's drainage system was even more sophisticated than imagined. The floor sloped at precise angles to ensure rapid flooding and even faster emptying. This wasn't just for spectacle, it was about control. a delayed drainage could collapse the wooden supports, turning triumph into catastrophe. The Romans engineered every detail, from the timing of the tides to the way the water would reflect sunlight onto the emperor's box, amplifying his godlike presence. Yet the hypogeum's darkest secrets lie in its corners. Isotope analysis of the walls reveals traces of morphine and cannabis, suggesting drugged animals were calmed before combat, or perhaps fighters were given courage in a cup. Graffiti etched into the stone tells quieter stories: a gladiator's prayer to Mars, a tally of victories, even a crude sketch of a fallen rival. Some chambers bear grooves from chains, marking where prisoners waited hours before their fate. The most chilling detail: a series of narrow, vertical shafts that funneled fresh air into the tunnels and carried the screams of the arena downward. For all its engineering brilliance, the hypogeum was never meant to be seen. It was the antithesis of the Colosseum's majestic facade, a place of sweat, fear, and mechanical ruthlessness. When the games ended, the tunnels were sealed, their secrets sinking into legend. Today, as visitors peer into its shadowed passages, they're not just looking at ruins. They're staring into the gut of the Roman machine, where myth and blood mingled beneath the roar of the crowd. The hypogeum didn't just stage battles, it staged reality itself, proving even the grandest spectacles rely on something hidden in the dark. Cutting deep into the volcanic rock of Turkey's Cappadocia region lies Derinkuyu, an underground city so vast it could shelter 20,000 people for months at a time. This isn't just a network of caves, it's a meticulously engineered metropolis descending 18 levels into the earth, complete with ventilation shafts, wineries, chapels, and even livestock stables. The scale is staggering, but the real mystery is why anyone would choose to live in perpetual twilight beneath the ground. The answer might lie in the whispers of persecution echoing through its stone corridors. Built between the 7th and 8th centuries, Derinkuyu's labyrinthine tunnels coincide with a dark period for early Christians in the Byzantine Empire. Under Emperor Justinian II, religious minorities faced violent purges, forcing entire communities to vanish from sight literally. The city's design reveals a desperate ingenuity. Massive circular stone doors weighing up to a ton could be rolled shut to seal each level, while narrow passageways forced invaders to advance single file, easily ambushed. Ventilation shafts, some stretching nearly 200 feet to the surface, provided fresh air without betraying the city's location, even more remarkable. Derinkuyu wasn't alone. It connects via a 5-mile tunnel to another underground city, Göbekli, suggesting a subterranean network of refuge. But survival wasn't just about defense. Archaeologists have uncovered churches hewn from the rock, their crosses still faintly visible on the walls alongside baptismal fonts and confession chambers. Wine presses and grain storage pits hint at long-term habitation, while communal kitchens and oil lamps speak to a society determined to preserve not just lives but culture. The city's deepest chambers plunge to depths where the temperature remains constant, a natural refrigerator for food, and perhaps a sacred space for hiding revered relics from raiders. Not all theories point to persecution. Some historians argue Derinkuyu predates Christianity, possibly built by the Phrygians or Hittites as a refuge from invading armies or natural disasters. Others note the presence of Zoroastrian symbols alongside Christian ones, suggesting a melting pot of faith united by necessity. The truth might be layered, much like the city itself, each level a page in a history book written in stone. What's undeniable is the psychological toll of such a life. Imagine raising children who'd never seen sunlight, or whispering prayers in chapels where the walls absorbed every sound. Derinkuyu wasn't just a hiding place, it was a testament to human resilience, a declaration that faith, or sheer survival, could carve a world from darkness. As modern visitors squeeze through its narrow passages, tracing finger marks left by ancient tools, the city whispers a haunting question: how far would you go to protect what matters most? The answer, etched into these endless tunnels, is as deep as the earth itself. Buried deep beneath the rolling hills of China's Shaanxi province lies one of history's most enigmatic tombs, the final resting place of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor to unite China under a single rule. While his terracotta army has captivated the world since its accidental discovery in 1974, the warriors standing guard are just the tip of an underground empire. At the heart of this necropolis, sealed for over 2,000 years, is the emperor's untouched central tomb, a treasure-laden vault said to be encircled by rivers of shimmering mercury. Ancient texts describe staggering wonders within: palaces with pearl-studded ceilings, crossbows rigged to fire at intruders, and even an entire map of China rendered in liquid mercury, its flowing currents mimicking the empire's great rivers. But why has no one dared to open it? The danger isn't just legend. Soil tests around the tomb mound reveal mercury levels 80 times higher than normal, backing historical accounts of Qin Shi Huang's obsession with immortality. Mercury, believed to prolong life in alchemy, might have been pumped through the tomb in elaborate channels to create an eternal, moving replica of his kingdom. Some researchers suggest the mercury served a dual purpose, preserving the emperor's body while acting as a deadly deterrent to grave robbers. Even today, archaeologists hesitate to breach the tomb's interior, fearing both toxic fumes and the potential for mechanical traps. Ancient records speak of automatic arrows triggered by tripwheels, a labyrinth of false passages, and ceilings rigged to collapse. Could these defenses still be functional after 2 millennia? Modern technology offers glimpses through the earth. Ground-penetrating radar has detected a vast underground complex beneath the mound, with walls of rammed earth and an intricate drainage system to prevent flooding. One scan revealed a 4-story wooden palace encased within, its structure eerily intact. But the most tantalizing anomaly lies directly beneath the tomb's central chamber, a void suggesting a hidden lower level, possibly containing the emperor's sarcophagus or even the fabled elixir of immortality he spent his life pursuing. Some scholars speculate this lower chamber could house something far more unexpected: the lost library of Qin Shi Huang, containing bamboo scrolls documenting advanced knowledge from across his unified empire. The ethical dilemma is as thick as the mercury vapors. Excavating the tomb could rewrite history, revealing secrets of Qin's brutal reign and the technological marvels of his era, from standardized weights and measures to the Great Wall's earliest sections. Yet the risks are immense. Opening the tomb could expose its contents to oxygen, reducing silks to dust and fading once vibrant pigments, as seen in other hastily excavated Qin-era sites. There's also the unsettling possibility that the emperor's final riddle isn't a trap but a choice. Is the tomb meant to protect its treasures from us or us from what's inside? As the terracotta army stands frozen in time, their unblinking gaze fixed on the sealed mound, one truth becomes clear. Qin Shi Huang's tomb isn't just a burial chamber, it's a time capsule, a puzzle, and a warning all at once. Until science finds a way to peer inside without disturbing its slumber, the first emperor's greatest secrets remain locked away, guarded by rivers of poison and the whispers of the past. Rising from the emerald hills of Ireland's Boyne Valley, Newgrange's massive circular mound has guarded its secrets for over 5,000 years, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. At first glance, it appears as a simple grass-covered hill, but hidden within its ancient stones lies one of humanity's most precise astronomical instruments. Each winter solstice, as the sun crests the horizon, a narrow beam of golden light penetrates the tomb's entrance, sliding down a 60-foot passageway to illuminate the inner chamber for exactly 17 minutes. This isn't an accident of architecture, it's a masterpiece of Neolithic engineering, a celestial clock carved in stone. But who were the people who designed such a marvel, and what did this fleeting sunlight mean to them? The answer might be etched into the very walls. Newgrange's passage stones are adorned with intricate spiral carvings, some swirling like galaxies, others looping into labyrinthine knots. These symbols, repeated across Europe's megalithic sites, defy straightforward translation. Some researchers interpret them as maps of the afterlife, pathways for the soul to follow. Others see them as representations of the sun's cyclical journey, birth, death, and rebirth mirrored in stone. The most haunting theory that these spirals were meant to trap or channel energy during the solstice event, turning the chamber into a conduit between worlds. Imagine standing in that darkness as the first light of the reborn sun creeps toward you, the carvings flickering to life like ancient code. Then there's the mystery of the tomb's contents. Unlike other passage graves, Newgrange yielded no human remains when first excavated, just fragments of burned bone and offerings of polished stone beads. This absence fuels speculation that the site was less a burial ground and more a stage for rituals of renewal. Celtic myths, written millennia later, describe Newgrange as the dwelling of the god Dagda, a place where time itself could be manipulated. Could the solstice light have been part of an initiation rite, where the living communed with ancestors under the sun's fleeting touch? Modern experiments reveal the chamber's acoustics amplified chanting voices, suggesting sound may have been as vital as light in these ceremonies. The true enigma lies in the builder's intent. Newgrange's alignment is so precise that even a minor deviation in the Earth's axial tilt over millennia would have rendered the solstice effect invisible. Yet here it remains, a 5,000-year-old promise kept. Were these Neolithic astronomers marking time, worshipping a solar deity, or enacting a deeper metaphor, the light-piercing darkness as life emerges from death? The symbols, the alignment, the empty chamber all whisper of a civilization that saw the cosmos not as distant, but as intimately woven into the fabric of their existence. As dawn breaks on the shortest day of the year, and that slender beam once again travels the sacred passage, Newgrange reminds us that some secrets aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to be witnessed, towering over the rainforest canopy of Guatemala. Tukul's Temple Roman 4 isn't just another Maya pyramid, it's a staircase to the heavens. At over 200 feet tall, it remains one of the tallest pre-Columbian structures ever built, its summit piercing the sky like a stone lightning rod. But what's truly fascinating lies hidden beneath its weathered steps. In 2019, archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar detected a series of sealed chambers within the pyramid's core, their walls lined with rare red pigment and traces of mercury. This wasn't just decorative. Mercury, a sacred substance to the Maya, symbolized the underworld's rivers, suggesting these chambers might be royal tombs designed to mirror the cosmic journey of the dead. The question is, who was important enough to merit such a celestial send-off? The answer might lie in Temple Roman 4's staggering height. Unlike Egypt's pyramids, which were built as tombs first and symbols second, this structure was likely a stage for living kings to commune with the gods. Its rooftop platform, accessible by a steep stairway, aligns perfectly with the sunrise during the summer solstice when viewed from Temple Eye across the plaza. Imagine a ruler standing there at dawn, bathed in golden light as the jungle awakens below, a living bridge between earth and sky. The pyramid's builders even engineered acoustic quirks into its design. Whispers from the summit can be heard clearly at ground level, as if the king's words carried divine weight. But the real secret isn't just how tall Temple Roman 4 is, it's why it had to be. Inscriptions reveal it was commissioned by Yikin Chan Kaawil, a 7th century warlord who transformed Tikal into a regional superpower. His conquests demanded a monument so imposing it would dwarf rival city-states' temples, both physically and spiritually. The hidden chambers, possibly holding his remains or ritual offerings, anchor this ambition. One theory suggests the mercury-lined rooms weren't just tombs but batteries of sorts, storing sacred energy to empower his dynasty from beyond the grave. Yet the most tantalizing clue comes from the temple's orientation. When viewed from Temple Roman 4 summit during Venus's brightest phase, the planet appears to hover directly above Temple I, home to Yikin's predecessor. Was this a celestial nod to lineage or a bold statement that the new king outshone even the stars? Modern laser scans show the pyramid's corners align not just with solstices but with minor lunar standstills, events occurring only every 18 years. This precision suggests Temple Roman 4 wasn't just a symbol of power but a living calendar, its shadow stretching across the city like a sundial marking eras of rule. As howler monkeys shriek in the distance and tourists gasp at the view from its summit, Temple Roman 4 whispers a truth louder than any carving, for the Maya height wasn't just about dominance. It was about proximity to the gods, to the cosmos, and to the legacy of kings who dared to build their names into the sky itself. The real treasure here isn't gold or jade. It's the unshakable idea that stones stacked just right could make mortals immortal. Standing proudly in the heart of Paris' Place de la Concorde, the Luxor obelisk cuts a striking silhouette against the French sky, yet this towering monument's true story stretches back over 3,000 years across deserts and dynasties. Carved from a single block of red granite, the 75-foot monolith once flanked the entrance to Egypt's Luxor temple alongside its identical twin, both erected by Ramses II to celebrate his divine power. But how did this ancient sentinel, weighing over 250 tons, end up on a European plaza? The answer is a tale of imperial ambition, near disasters, and a journey so audacious it borders on madness. In 1831, Muhammad Ali Pasha, ruler of Egypt, gifted the obelisk to France as a diplomatic gesture, though gift might be too generous a term. Transporting it required engineering wizardry. A custom-built barge dragged down the Nile by 300 men, a Mediterranean voyage so treacherous the ship nearly capsized in a storm, and a final overland trek on rails greased with beef tallow to slide the stone into place. The operation took 3 years, a testament to human stubbornness in the face of the impossible. Yet the real mystery isn't the how, but the why. The obelisk's hieroglyphs, glorifying Ramses as beloved of Ammon, remain untranslated by most visitors passing beneath them. Fringe theorists argue these inscriptions hold more than royal boasts. They might encode alchemical formulas or celestial alignments lost to modern Egyptology. Even more intriguing is the fate of its twin. The second obelisk still stands in Luxor, but local legends claim its original pair, the one now in Paris, was deliberately chosen for removal because its base concealed something beneath. 19th century sketches show cryptic symbols etched into the pedestal's underside, symbols absent from its sister monument. Were these markings mere quarry notes, or could they point to a chamber or artifact hidden below the sands of Luxor? Ground scans near the remaining obelisk hint at subsurface anomalies, but political tensions have stalled further exploration. The Parisian obelisk's gold capstone, added in 1998, adds another layer of intrigue. While officially a restoration, its placement mirrors ancient Egyptian beliefs that such caps channeled celestial energy, coincidence or a silent nod to esoteric traditions. As traffic circles the plaza and tourists gaze up at hieroglyphs glowing in the sunset, the obelisk stands as more than a trophy of colonialism. It's a cipher in plain sight, its twin's secret still buried, waiting for the day someone deciphers the message carved into its skin 3 millennia ago. The stones remember. The question is, are we listening? Perched on Malta's windswept cliffs, the Haga Kim temples stand as silent witnesses to a civilization that thrived over 5,000 years ago, long before the pyramids or Stonehenge. Among these ancient limestone ruins, one feature defies easy explanation. A series of perfectly circular oracle holes drilled into the stone, each no wider than a human fist. At first glance, they seem like simple apertures, but step closer and their secret reveals itself. Speak into one of these holes and your voice emerges distorted, amplified, almost otherworldly, as if the stones themselves are whispering back. This uncanny acoustic effect wasn't accidental. The temple's builders carved these holes with precise angles and depths, tuning them like instruments to transform sound into something supernatural. The question is why. Some archaeologists argue these were channels for divination, where priests hidden inside chambers would project ritual chants or pronouncements, their voices warped by the stone to mimic the voices of gods. Imagine a worshipper pressing their ear to the hole, hearing commands from the divine, distorted beyond recognition yet carrying the weight of prophecy. Ancient Maltese folklore speaks of the grandmother's voice echoing through temple walls, a possible remnant of oral traditions describing these sonic manipulations. Others suggest a more therapeutic purpose. The vibrations created by chanting into the holes might have induced trance states or even stimulated healing frequencies, an early form of sound therapy. Modern experiments show certain frequencies resonate deeply within the temple chambers, potentially affecting brainwave patterns. Yet the mystery deepens when you consider the hole's alignment. Several are positioned to funnel sound toward the temple's central altar, while others direct voices to specific astronomical markers like the summer solstice sunrise, which bathes the altar in light once a year. Could these acoustic pathways have been part of a larger ritual where sound and light intertwine to create moments of transcendence? Not everyone agrees. Skeptics propose practical explanations like ventilation or structural reinforcement, but the precision of the hole's placement undermines this theory. Why engineer such complex acoustics if not for ceremony? The temple's builders left no written records, but their stones sing with intention. As the Mediterranean wind howls through Haga Kim's ruins, the oracle holes remain, a testament to a culture that didn't just build temples but instruments. Whether portals to the divine or tools for healing, their whispers linger, daring us to listen closely. In the heart of Pakistan's Indus Valley, the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro hold one of antiquity's most perplexing structures, the Great Bath. This meticulously engineered pool, lined with waterproof bitumen and fed by an intricate system of drains, looks like it could belong to a modern spa. Yet it was built over 4,000 years ago, centuries before the Roman baths it eerily predates. The precision of its construction uniform bricks, mathematically perfect proportions, and a sophisticated watertight seal suggests this wasn't just a place to bathe. It was a temple of water, a sacred intersection of engineering and spirituality. But what rituals unfolded here, and why did water hold such power for the Indus Valley people? One compelling theory paints the Great Bath as the centerpiece of purification ceremonies. Unlike later civilizations that associated water with hygiene alone, the Harappans may have viewed it as a conduit for spiritual cleansing. The bath's orientation aligns with celestial events, its steps leading down into the water mirroring the descent into a sacred underworld. Archaeologists have found no traces of soap or oils, only small, carefully placed artifacts, a terracotta figurine here, a carved seal there hinting at offerings rather than everyday use. The surrounding courtyards and rooms, some with private bathing areas, suggest a hierarchy of access where only priests or elites could enter the innermost sanctum. Imagine the scene, torchlight flickering on water as chants echoed off the brick walls, the liquid itself transformed into something holy. But there's another, more practical possibility. The Great Bath's advanced drainage system, featuring covered channels and sedimentation tanks, hints at an understanding of water management far ahead of its time. Some researchers argue it functioned as an early water treatment facility, filtering runoff or storing monsoon rains for the dry season. The same bitumen that prevented leaks also inhibited bacterial growth, an accidental side effect with profound health benefits. Could the Harappans have recognized this? Fingerprints preserved in the brickwork reveal the hands of laborers who pressed each piece into place, a testament to communal effort. Whether for ritual or survival, the bath's construction speaks of a society that revered water not just as a resource but as a living force. The mystery deepens when you consider what's missing. Unlike Egyptian or Mesopotamian sites, Mohenjo-Daro's ruins contain no grand temples or royal tombs. The Great Bath, with its stark symmetry and absence of religious iconography, stands alone. Some scholars interpret this as evidence of a uniquely egalitarian culture, where communal spaces trumped individual glory. Others wonder if the bath's true significance lies in what hasn't been found. Perhaps hidden chambers beneath its floor or lost artifacts that could reveal its secrets. As the sun bakes the ancient bricks, the Great Bath's stillness belies its legacy. Water flows no longer through its channels, but the questions remain. Was this a place where bodies were cleansed, souls renewed, or empires sustained? The Harappans left no written records, only this silent, sunken stage. Its steps, worn smooth by millennia, invite us to step down, not just into water, but into the unknown. Hidden among the dense jungles of Java, Indonesia, Borobudur rises like a stone mandala against the sky, a colossal Buddhist monument built over 12 centuries ago. At first glance, its 9 stacked terraces and 72 bell-shaped stupas appear serene. But this structure holds secrets that emerge only when the moon aligns just right. Certain intricate relief panels carved into its walls, invisible under normal light, shimmer into view during specific lunar phases, their details illuminated by the angled glow. These hidden narratives depict scenes from Buddhist texts, their sudden appearance mirroring the idea of enlightenment itself, truths revealed only when conditions are perfect. Scholars believe these concealed carvings weren't accidents of design. They were deliberate teachings, accessible only to those who sought them at the right moment, under the right light. The monument's architecture is a coded map of the cosmos. Each of Borobudur's 3 levels symbolizes a realm of Buddhist cosmology. The base represents the world of desire, the middle terraces the world of forms, and the upper circular platforms the formless realm of pure enlightenment. Pilgrims ascending its steps follow a literal path to nirvana, moving from scenes of earthly suffering at the bottom to the serene, empty stupas at the summit. But here's the twist: the reliefs aren't just decorations. They're a spiritual syllabus, their sequence guiding devotees through the Buddha's teachings. One panel, visible only during the full moon, shows a ship navigating stormy seas, a metaphor for the soul's journey through illusion to wisdom. Another, emerging under a waning crescent, depicts a prince relinquishing his throne, a lesson in detachment timed to appear as the moon itself seems to let go of its light. Borobudur's alignment with celestial events goes beyond moonlight. During the equinoxes, the sun casts shadows that trace the reliefs in a precise order, as if the universe itself is turning the pages of a sacred text. The topmost stupas, each housing a statue of the Buddha, are arranged so that the rising sun on the summer solstice illuminates them one by one, creating a wave of light that cascades across the monument. This isn't just artistry, it's astronomy etched in stone, a fusion of faith and science that suggests the builders saw the heavens as a mirror of the soul's ascent. Yet the greatest mystery might lie in what's missing. Unlike most temples, Borobudur lacks an inner chamber, no central shrine, no relic crypt. This absence has fueled theories that the entire structure is the relic, its labyrinth of passages and hidden reliefs forming a 3-dimensional sutra meant to be walked, not merely viewed. Some even speculate that the monument's base, buried for centuries under volcanic ash, conceals earlier structures or inscriptions that could rewrite its history. As moonlight dances on those once invisible carvings, Borobudur whispers a truth as old as Buddhism itself. Enlightenment isn't found in grand revelations, but in the spaces between the moments when light and shadow conspire to show us what was always there. Stretching across France's windswept Breton coastline like a petrified army, the Karnak stones stand in eerie formation. 3,000 megaliths arranged in rows so precise they seem to march toward the horizon. This sprawling Neolithic puzzle, dating back over 6,000 years, defies simple explanation. While most visitors see only silent sentinels of granite, researchers have uncovered a startling possibility. These stones might be more than a ritual site. Their exact alignment could function as a colossal seismic detector, sensitive to tremors imperceptible to human senses. The theory hinges on the stone's peculiar placement. Unlike random scatterings found at other megalithic sites, Karnak's menhirs form straight lines that deviate slightly but consistently along fault lines beneath the soil. Experiments show that when seismic waves pass through, the stones vibrate at frequencies that create audible hums, a phenomenon known as lithophony. Imagine standing among them as the earth shifts miles below, the very ground whispering its unrest through these ancient monoliths. Local legends speak of the stones as petrified soldiers, cursed to stand forever. Could the truth be even stranger, that they were placed here not just to honor the earth, but to listen to it? Yet seismic detection might be just one layer of their purpose. Astronomers note that several key rows align with solstice sunrises and lunar standstills, their shadows stretching like clock hands across the landscape. The largest stones, positioned at specific intervals, cast markings that correspond to 18.6-year lunar cycles, a pattern too precise to ignore. This suggests Karnak's builders didn't just track days or seasons, they mapped the moon's intricate dance with celestial precision. The smaller, more numerous stones might even represent a counting system, a stone abacus for predicting eclipses or tides. The mystery deepens when you consider the effort involved. Each menhir, weighing up to 300 tons, was quarried miles away and transported without wheels or draft animals. Why expend such energy? One provocative theory ties the site to lost Atlantic trade routes. Karnak's shoreline alignment mirrors ancient sailing paths, its rows potentially serving as a navigational aid for Bronze Age mariners. The stone's magnetic properties, detectable with lodestones, could have functioned as a primitive compass, guiding ships through fog and storms. Not all interpretations are so practical. Some researchers argue the rows encode sacred geometry, their spacing reflecting harmonic ratios found in nature, from seashell spirals to planetary orbits. Others see them as a memory palace where each stone triggered oral histories or genealogies. The truth might live in the gaps between these ideas. As dawn breaks over Karnak, painting the stones in gold, they remain stubbornly silent. Were they an observatory, an earthquake alarm, a seafarer's beacon, or a blend of all three? The answer, like the shadows they cast, shifts with the light. The Temple of Karnak sprawls across the Nile's east bank like a stone library of the gods, its hypostyle hall a forest of 134 towering columns, each carved with hieroglyphs so dense they seem to vibrate with untold secrets. But these aren't just prayers or royal propaganda. Hidden within the glyphs are cryptographic puzzles, a clandestine language used by Karnak's priests to shield sacred knowledge from the uninitiated. Look closely and you'll spot anomalies, hieroglyphs flipped upside down, animal symbols with unusual attributes, even sequences that reappear in mathematical patterns. These aren't mistakes, they're a cipher, a celestial code concealing everything from temple rituals to astrological predictions. Modern decipherment efforts suggest some inscriptions might map out star alignments used to time ceremonies, while others could encode the ingredients for sacred oils or incense recipes so potent they were guarded like state secrets. Yet the real mysteries lie beneath the hall's shadowed floor. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed sprawling, unexcavated chambers extending beyond the mapped areas, their entrances deliberately sealed with rubble and false walls. One corridor, detected in 2018, slopes downward toward the Nile, its walls lined with hieroglyphs in a rare cryptographic script known as enigmatic writing. Egyptian authorities have delayed exploration, citing preservation concerns, but whispers persist among archaeologists. Could these tunnels lead to the legendary House of Life, a scriptorium where priests preserved esoteric texts on medicine, astronomy, and magic? Papyrus fragments found nearby reference a chamber of divine words, a vault storing rituals so powerful they were only spoken once a generation. The temple's alignment adds another layer of intrigue. During the winter solstice, sunlight slices through the hall's columns, illuminating specific glyph clusters in a sequence that mirrors the Osiris myth: death, rebirth, and resurrection played out in light and shadow. Some researchers argue this wasn't just theater, it was a living puzzle, with each illuminated glyph acting as a key to unlock deeper meanings in adjacent texts. Imagine novice priests training here, decoding messages hidden in plain sight, their education etched into the very stones they walked. Not all secrets are so poetic. Recent infrared scans show heat anomalies near the hall's central axis, hinting at cavities filled with organic material, possibly resin-soaked linens or papyri sealed against humidity. The most tantalizing theory that these spaces hold the lost book of the temple, a manual detailing every ritual, offering, and astronomical observation made at Karnak over centuries. While mainstream archaeology prioritizes caution, the allure is undeniable. Karnak wasn't just a temple, it was a fortress of knowledge, its priests the gatekeepers of truths we've only begun to guess. As the desert wind rustles through the hypostyle hall, those encoded glyphs seem to murmur, the answers are here, but are we asking the right questions? Hidden deep within the jungles of Chiapas, Mexico, the Palenque Palace stands as a monument to the brilliance and enigmas of the ancient Maya. At its heart lies the tomb of King Pakal the Great, whose ornate sarcophagus lid has ignited debates for decades. Carved from a single slab of limestone, the intricate scene depicts Pakal reclining beneath a cosmic tree, surrounded by celestial symbols. But to some, this isn't just a funerary tableau, it's a controversial blueprint for an ancient astronaut. The king's posture, with knees bent and hands manipulating unseen controls, resembles a pilot in a cockpit. The tree above him, etched with serpentine coils and celestial markers, could be reinterpreted as plumes of exhaust from a rocket. Even the border's intricate glyphs seem to chart a trajectory, fueling theories that Pakal wasn't just ascending to the afterlife, he was launching into the stars. Archaeologists dismiss this as a modern misreading, arguing the imagery fits squarely within Maya cosmology. The rocket aligns with the world tree, a central axis connecting the underworld, earth, and heavens. Pakal's pose mirrors the Maize god's rebirth, a well-documented motif, yet the lid's precision keeps the debate alive. The king's foot rests on a pedal-like disc, while his controls align with known Maya ritual objects. Could this be a case of ancient technology described through the lens of myth? Or are we projecting our space-age fantasies onto a culture that saw the cosmos through a different lens? Beneath the palace, a second mystery flows unseen. Pakal's engineers designed a hidden aqueduct system so advanced it rivals Roman hydraulics. Carved channels diverted rainwater from the palace roofs into underground cisterns, while elevated stone pipes created water pressure without pumps, an innovation centuries ahead of its time. The system's crown jewel is the subterranean Queen's Bath, a private chamber where water cascaded down sculpted steps, echoing into hidden resonating chambers. Some researchers believe these acoustics amplified ritual chants, turning the palace into a living instrument. Others speculate the water's flow was timed to celestial events, with solstice sunlight triggering siphons to animate sacred statues. The juxtaposition is striking, a sarcophagus lid hinting at cosmic travel and a palace humming with hydraulic ingenuity. Whether Pakal's tomb depicts a shaman's journey or something more esoteric, one truth endures: the Maya blended science and spirituality in ways we're still unraveling. As the jungle encroaches on phalanx stones, the palace whispers that the line between myth and technology might be thinner than we think. Rising like a stone dagger from Sri Lanka's jungle canopy, Sigiriya's rock fortress isn't just an architectural marvel, it's a frozen moment of royal paranoia, painted in vivid frescoes and whispered in vanished graffiti. Halfway up this 600-foot volcanic monolith, a once gleaming mirror wall stretches along a sheer cliff face, its polished surface so flawless that legend claims the 5th century King Kasyapa could see his enemies approaching from miles away. But the wall's true secret lies not in its reflection, but in the layers of ancient inscriptions now faded by centuries of monsoons. Over 1,000 verses scribbled by visitors between the 6th and 14th centuries once covered this surface, poems praising the fortress's beauty, musings on the enigmatic Cloud Maiden frescoes above, even bawdy jokes about the king's court. These scribbles, now barely visible, form the oldest known examples of Sinhalese poetry, a democratic counterpoint to the fortress's tyrannical origins. The Cloud Maidens themselves are even more mysterious. These ethereal women, painted in vibrant ochres and greens, float halfway up the rock's western face, their identities still debated. Some scholars argue they're celestial nymphs meant to bless the fortress, while others see them as Kasyapa's concubines, their portraits a display of wealth and power. The most intriguing theory that they're participating in a ritual, their hands holding flowering branches and their lips parted as if singing. Infrared scans reveal lost details, pigments mixed with honey for luminosity, gold leaf accents now tarnished, even traces of a musical score etched beneath one figure. Were these painted musicians meant to soothe the king's notorious paranoia with eternal song? That paranoia shaped every stone of Sigiriya. Kasyapa built this fortress after seizing the throne by walling up his own father alive, then fearing retribution from his exiled brother. The entire complex is a study in defensive overkill, moats stocked with crocodiles, gardens designed to confuse invaders, and a final ascent through a pair of massive lions pours the last remnants of a gargantuan entryway that forced attackers to climb single file under archers' fire. But the most telling detail, Kasyapa's throne room was placed directly beneath a natural overhang, ensuring no aerial attack or, as local guides whisper, no divine judgment could reach him from above. Yet for all its defenses, Sigiriya's reign lasted just 18 years. Kasyapa's brother returned with an army, and in a moment of tragic irony, the king's war elephant stumbled in the swampy battleground below the rock. Mistakenly believing defeat was imminent, Kasyapa took his own life, his supposedly impregnable fortress rendered meaningless. The Cloud Maidens still sing silently on the rock face, their songs unheard, their pigments slowly dissolving in the tropical air. The mirror wall, once polished to prophetic brilliance, now reflects only ghosts. Sigiriya stands as a monument not just to ambition, but to the irony that the greatest walls we build are often the ones that trap us. Carved from the living rock of Maharashtra's basalt cliffs, the Kailasa temple at Ellora isn't just a shrine, it's an act of defiance against physics itself. Imagine standing before this monolithic marvel, its 3-story towers rising 90 feet from a single block of stone, every inch meticulously sculpted with scenes from Hindu epics. Here's what leaves engineers speechless. This wasn't built from the ground up. Workers chiseled the entire structure top-down, starting at the summit and carving downward, removing an estimated 200,000 tons of rock with nothing more than hammers, chisels, and human patience. The precision is staggering: pillars fluted like lotus stalks, ceilings adorned with divine couples frozen in dance, even a stone bridge connecting to a balcony that seems to float in midair. Modern architects struggle to replicate such feats even with laser guidance. So how did 8th century artisans achieve this? The answer might lie in the builder's meticulous planning. Unlike conventional construction where mistakes can be patched, top-down carving demanded absolute foresight. scholars believe the master architects used a grid system, etching the temple's blueprint directly onto the cliff face before striking the first blow. Every column, every deity's smile, even the temple's alignment with the solstice sunrise, all were mapped in advance, but the real genius emerges in the details. The temple's lower levels feature unfinished panels revealing the step-by-step process. Workers drilled rows of holes to split rock slabs, then polished surfaces with abrasive sand. Some sections show where they miscalculated, leaving gaps filled with cleverly disguised stone plugs. This wasn't just artistry, it was problem-solving etched in stone. Then there's the lingering controversy. Could the builders have had help? Local folklore speaks of a medieval king commissioning the temple to honor Shiva, but completing it in just 18 years seems implausible without advanced techniques. Fringe theorists point to the temple's near-perfect symmetry and subsurface chambers, suggesting lost technology or even divine intervention. More grounded hypotheses propose the use of iron tools hardened through secret forging methods or teams working in shifts around the clock. The most compelling clue, a nearby cave contains a scale model of the temple, proving the architects tested their vision in miniature before committing to the mountain. Yet the greatest mystery isn't how they carved Kailasa, but why they chose such an audacious method. Most rock-cut temples are caves expanded inward. Kailasa's top-down approach risked collapse with every strike, turning the entire project into a high-stakes gamble. Perhaps the answer lies in Hindu cosmology. The temple represents Mount Kailash, Shiva's celestial abode, believed to be indestructible. By carving downward, the builders may have been mimicking the mountain's eternal nature, proving that faith could move more than mountains, it could reshape them. As sunlight filters through the temple's pierced stone screens, casting shadows that dance like deities, one thing is clear: Kailasa isn't just a monument. It's a manifesto declaring that human hands, guided by devotion, can wrest the impossible from rock itself. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was once a wonder of the ancient world, a gleaming marble sanctuary so vast it dwarfed the Parthenon, its 127 columns towering over swamps and bustling markets alike. Today, only a single reconstructed pillar stands where the temple once rose, a lonely sentinel hinting at the grandeur that vanished. But beneath the scattered foundations lies a mystery that refuses to stay buried. Ancient accounts mention cryptic subterranean chambers beneath the temple, spaces rumored to hold everything from the cult's most sacred relics to treasures smuggled away before the final destruction. Some of those lost columns might hold the key. Scattered across Europe, 11 known marble fragments from the temple have been identified in unlikely places, one repurposed in Istanbul's Hagia Sophia, another serving as a decorative plinth in a Roman piazza, even a chunk discovered in the foundation of a London church. These exiled stones carry clues in their weathering patterns and mason marks, hinting at a frantic dismantling rather than natural decay. But the real puzzle emerges when you map their dispersal. Many were transported along trade routes linked to Emperor Justinian's reign, centuries after the temple's official ruin. Why would a Christian emperor bother salvaging pagan rubble unless he was after something hidden within? Medieval texts fuel the intrigue. A Byzantine chronicle mentions vaults beneath Artemis, sealed with lead and spells, while a Venetian merchant's diary from the 13th century describes locals whispering of a flooded labyrinth where the old gods still whisper. Modern ground-penetrating radar has detected anomalies under the temple's marshy remnants, rectangular voids that align with descriptions of underground storerooms mentioned in Ephesian tax records. These chambers, possibly part of the temple's banking system, might have doubled as hiding places during crises. Yet the most tantalizing lead comes from a slab found near the site, inscribed with a cryptic inventory, 36 talents beneath the weeping stone. Some scholars believe this refers to a now-lost column base carved with a unique motif, possibly a marker for a hidden cache of temple gold or sacred texts. Others think weeping hints at hydraulic engineering, perhaps an underground spring used in purification rites. Either way, the temple's legacy isn't just in what was destroyed, but in what might still lie beneath the waterlogged earth, waiting for the right hands to decipher its riddles. The Temple of Artemis may stand in fragments, but its secrets are far from scattered. Every reclaimed column, every scan of the subsurface, brings us closer to understanding why this place captivated and terrified the ancient world. Whether its underground chambers hold treasure, truth, or simply the echoes of a forgotten faith, one thing is certain: the real wonder wasn't just what stood above ground. It's what might still be hidden below. Rising from the sun-baked plains of southern Iraq, the Ziggurat of Ur stands as a colossal staircase to the heavens, its brick terraces once gleaming with bitumen and lapis lazuli. Built over 4,000 years ago by King Ur-Nammu, this towering temple wasn't just a monument, it was a bridge between Earth and the realm of the gods. But beneath its weathered steps lies a darker tale of plunder and celestial obsession. In the 1920s, archaeologists uncovered a network of ransacked chambers at its base, their walls scarred by the tools of ancient looters. These weren't just storage rooms, they were treasure vaults meant to house offerings for the moon god Nana, Ur's patron deity. Gold, silver, and lapis ornaments once filled these spaces, but the real prize might have been something far stranger, a collection of inscribed clay cylinders detailing rituals so secret, even the temple's priests spoke of them in whispers. The summit of the ziggurat holds the key to its mystery. Unlike other Mesopotamian temples, Ur's sanctuary wasn't dedicated to the sun or storm gods, but exclusively to Nana, the silvery orb that ruled the night. Lunar alignments were baked into its very design. During the height of the full moon, the ziggurat staircases cast elongated shadows that converge at the summit, creating the illusion of a glowing pathway ascending to the heavens. This wasn't just symbolic theater, it was precise astronomy. Cuneiform tablets describe ceremonies where priests, clad in robes dyed indigo to mimic the night sky, tracked lunar cycles to predict eclipses, events they believed were moments when Nana descended to walk among them. But the cult of Nana had a shadowed side. Excavations revealed a hidden chamber behind the altar, its floor stained with traces of mercury and bitumen. Some scholars argue this was part of an alchemical ritual where priests combined sacred metals to create moon silver, a substance said to grant visions of the divine. Others point to skeletal remains found nearby, not sacrificial victims, but the bones of temple scribes buried with their style still clutched in their hands. Were these the keepers of the ziggurat's esoteric knowledge, interred to protect its secrets? The most tantalizing clue lies in what's missing. A looted wall niche still bears the outline of a stolen artifact, a crescent-shaped relic described in texts as the Tablet of Destinies, said to hold the power to alter fate itself. Whether it was a celestial map, a ritual object, or mere myth, its absence haunts the ruins. Meanwhile, satellite imagery hints at undiscovered tunnels snaking beneath the ziggurat, perhaps leading to untouched chambers where the cult's most guarded rituals were performed. As moonlight washes over Ur's weathered bricks today, the ziggurat's dual legacy emerges. It was both a beacon of celestial devotion and a vault of secrets too potent to survive. The looters took the gold, but the real treasure, the knowledge of how an ancient civilization communed with the cosmos, might still lie buried, waiting for the right key to unlock its whispers. Deep within the shadowy recesses of France's Lascaux caves, a gallery of ancient beasts gallops across the walls: bison, horses, and aurochs frozen in motion for 17,000 years. At first glance, these vivid paintings seem like simple hunting scenes, but look closer, and the animals' placements reveal an astonishing secret. They might form the world's oldest astronomical clock. Researchers have noted that certain clusters align with constellations as they would have appeared in the Paleolithic sky. The famous Great Bull panel, for instance, mirrors the stars of Taurus during the summer solstice, while dots scattered around the animals could chart lunar phases or even eclipses. Some scholars argue these weren't just decorative marks, they were a celestial calendar, tracking migration patterns and seasonal shifts vital for survival. Yet the cave's most tantalizing secrets may lie beyond the reach of modern explorers. In 1963, authorities sealed Lascaux's original chambers to protect the fragile paintings from human-induced decay, leaving entire sections inaccessible. Infrared scans and ground-penetrating radar have since detected undiscovered galleries, their walls likely adorned with unseen art. One particularly intriguing void, nicknamed the Shaft, is rumored to contain depictions unlike anything found elsewhere, abstract symbols or hybrid creatures that could rewrite our understanding of prehistoric symbolism. Theories about these sealed chambers range from the practical to the profound. Were they sacred spaces reserved for shamanic rituals, where the act of painting itself was a form of communion with the spirit world? Or did they serve as primitive observatories, their animal motifs acting as star maps for ancestors who navigated by the heavens? The presence of lamps fueled by animal fat suggests deliberate, prolonged work in these depths, while the strategic placement of acoustically resonant chambers hints at ceremonies where sound and imagery merge. Meanwhile, the astronomical theory gains traction with each new discovery. A recent study found that the cave's crossed bison panel aligns with the Pleiades cluster during the autumn equinox, a time when herds would have migrated. This wasn't just art, it was an almanac encoded in ochre and charcoal, a survival tool disguised as beauty. Lascaux's sealed passages hold whispers of a lost world where art and science were inseparable. With technology now allowing non-invasive scans, we stand on the brink of revelations. Were these caves a prehistoric planetarium, a cathedral, or something beyond our modern categories? Until we can safely peer deeper, the answers remain half-hidden, like constellations obscured by clouds. Standing guard over the ruins of Mycenae, the Lion Gate looms like a silent sentinel of a forgotten age, its massive limestone lintel crowned by two snarling lions, their heads long lost to time. This towering entrance, built around 1250 BCE, isn't just a relic of Bronze Age engineering, it's a riddle carved in stone. The gate's so-called Cyclopean masonry consists of boulders so enormous that later Greeks believed only the mythical Cyclopes could have stacked them. But the real marvel isn't their size, it's their precision. Each stone was meticulously fitted without mortar, their irregular shapes interlocking like a three-dimensional puzzle to withstand earthquakes and sieges. Why go to such lengths? The answer might lie beneath the gate's shadow, where royal graves overflowed with treasures and unsettling clues about Mycenae's sudden collapse. Step through the Lion Gate and you're greeted by a macabre legacy, Grave Circle A, a ring of shaft tombs where 19th century archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann uncovered gold death masks so lifelike he famously telegrammed, "I have gazed upon the face of Agamemnon." The masks, hammered from single sheets of gold, depict men with serene, almost smiling expressions, a stark contrast to the violence implied by their surroundings. One warrior was buried with a dagger inlaid with a scene of lions hunting, its artistry rivaling anything from Egypt or Mesopotamia. Yet these graves tell a darker story. Skeletal remains show signs of brutal trauma, skulls cleft by axes, spines snapped mid-bone. Were these kings slain in battle or victims of a palace coup? The masks' tranquil faces offer no answers, only whispers of a civilization teetering between splendor and savagery. Mycenae's abrupt decline around 1200 BCE is one of antiquity's greatest whodunits. Theories range from climate change droughts withering the olive groves and grain fields, to invasions by mysterious sea peoples mentioned in Egyptian texts. But the most tantalizing clue comes from the ruins themselves. Excavations reveal hurriedly built fortifications, as if the city were bracing for an unseen threat. Storage jars found in the palace's basement still bear traces of olive oil and grain, suggesting Mycenae fell not from starvation but chaos. Could internal rebellion have torn the city apart? Linear B tablets, the earliest Greek writing, record vast distributions of bronze and textiles, a centralized economy that might have buckled under its own weight. Then there's the lion gate's hidden symbolism. The lions, though headless now, once faced inward, their bodies forming a heraldic pose borrowed from Hittite art. This wasn't just decoration, it was a statement Mycenae asserting its place in a network of Bronze Age superpowers. Yet the gate's orientation aligns with the summer solstice sunrise, bathing the entrance in golden light as if to signal a divine mandate. The same rulers who built this portal also commissioned underground cisterns and secret tunnels, their engineering prowess matched only by their paranoia. As the sun sets over Mycenae's shattered walls, the Lion Gate stands as both a triumph and a tombstone. Its stones hold the weight of unanswered questions. Were these the people Homer immortalized as heroes, or were they warlords whose ambition sowed their own ruin? The gold masks stare blankly from museum cases, their secrets locked behind lips of hammered metal. Perhaps the gate's lions weren't guarding the city from outsiders, but warning its kings of the darkness within. From the Great Pyramid's hidden voids to Easter Island's buried moe, we've journeyed across millennia and continents, uncovering 30 ancient monuments that refuse to surrender their secrets. Each site, whether it's the mercury-filled chambers beneath Teotihuacan, the solstice-aligned passages of Newgrange, or the encoded glyphs of Karnak, challenges our understanding of history. These aren't just relics of the past, they're open invitations to question, explore, and wonder. Who carved Göbekli Tepe's animal pillars 12,000 years ago, and why bury them so carefully? What celestial knowledge lies locked within Borobudur's moonlight-revealed panels? The truth is, for every answer archaeology provides, a dozen new mysteries emerge from the shadows. Perhaps that's the real magic of these places. They remind us that history isn't a static record, it's a living conversation. The Parthenon's golden ratios, the Nazca Line's hidden waterways, even Durinkuyu's echoing tunnels, all whisper that ancient civilizations saw the world through lenses we're only beginning to fathom. Some secrets were meant to be kept, like Qin Shi Huang's booby-trapped tomb or the Hall of Records rumored beneath the Sphinx. Others, like Petra's treasury chambers or the Karnak stone's seismic hums, seem to be waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Now it's your turn. Which monument's secrets fascinate you most? Do you think the Palenque sarcophagus depicts a Maya king's rebirth or something more extraordinary? Could the Haga Kim oracle holes really channel divine voices? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below, because history isn't just written by experts. Sometimes the most thrilling breakthroughs start with a curious mind asking, what if? If unraveling ancient mysteries excites you, don't forget to subscribe. Our next adventure into the forgotten corners of history is already waiting, and you won't want to miss it. After all, the past isn't done surprising us yet.